Welcome to Wednesday's update. We're going to be chopping up the markets and seeing what's happened recently. So it's been a good day. It's been a good trading day. Nice midweek trade to get us going, get that P&L looking good. Well, today we're going to talk about the setups that we should have entered. Whether you entered it or not, that goes without saying. But the ones you should have entered, we're also going to talk about what the prospects might be moving forward. Of course, we've got Bootcamp coming up at the last Sunday of every month. So if you are a beginner trader, if you're an intermediate trader, if you're not kind of making sense of the market and you're not quite sure what you're doing, you have some profitable days. You've got some days where you just keep hitting stop loss after stop loss after stop loss. Then Bootcamp might be for you. Also, I've got one-to-one sessions if you are interested in those. Just hit me up on Discord and we can sort something out for yourself. All right, so let's see. Well, Bitcoin, we know it's been in this range. We know it's got this internal range. We know it's broken down, from this range. We know that, on a more global time frame, we still have our daily level intact. This is still our daily level until we touch that high. We know our weekly level is still intact. We're just ranging here, aren't we? We've been ranging for over 3 months. We know as far as our market structure internally within the range goes, we've got lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, another lower low. Then we break structure bullishly, all right? That break happens there at 67,836. And then we look to have distributed, like as I was saying yesterday, there is no reason why we can't distribute, before we have some sort of mitigation of this old demand range. And that old demand range is this box here, this entire thing, before we look to go further up. All right. Now, I was saying yesterday as well, we could get that reaction potentially. The juiciest place to get that reaction would be that daily level. All right. Well, that's not necessarily the only place we could get that reaction, of course, because we could get that reaction anywhere from 66,931, this entire zone. All right. It's a simple down, up, come back down to further go up. All right. We talked about this yesterday. So if you want to take a look at that, feel free to watch yesterday's stream. So obviously we've got this internal range and we're going to play the charts for what it is. We're going to play it for what it is. So we're going to zoom into this internal range, which is in orange/pink, whatever color you want to call that. All right. And in terms of this internal range, we talked about the fact that we had a very beautiful range here. We had a range high, range low. We swept that for the second entry short. Lots of you entered that trade. Lots of you would be in profit right now. We retraced, then we created some sort of, flag, and then we had another leg down. So we had a double leg down retracement. All right. And as of yesterday, or as of whenever I posted this, let's just look at, if you watch yesterday's video, that will be in there. But we also had a setup, didn't we? We said we had a very clear setup that we're waiting for. We're just going to quickly get that setup up so we can show that. Hey, I think it was this one. So this was given. Oh, I've just got a call. 1 second. Sorry, that's just one of my students. All right, so this was a setup that was given on June the 7th. I said these are the only trades you need this weekend. Well, I guess it didn't quite happen in the weekend and it delayed. So first of all, we had that short from that weekend, which we entered. All right, didn't get that one. We didn't get that one. But the last trade that we could have entered was this, range low long setup. This trade all the way down here at 66,396. That was the last remaining zone from that setup. So if you were still keeping an eye on that, that is the last zone. And what did we say we're waiting for? We said, well, trade number ones were bear continuations. We said to enter the trade, we need to see the market structure chain in a 5 minute or above. All right, and we definitely got that. So we're going to be looking at that now. So as far as that trade goes, obviously, as of yesterday, where were we? Let's just rewind to where we were yesterday. Let's say yesterday we were around here. All right. And yesterday, all in the charts, all we could see was this. All right. But we were aware that we are coming towards our zone. All right. We're aware we're coming towards our zone. So I'm just going to talk you through how I enter this trade. This is a trade that I am still currently in. All right. And I'm going to talk to you how I enter that trade. So if we drop down time frames, let's go down to, let's say, the 15 minute. You can see all my drawings from, me analyzing the charts. But we can see that as we rally down, we've got a lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. As we continue the price comes to rally down, and then price hasn't yet tagged our zone. Now price has tagged our zone. As soon as price has tagged our zone, what do we still have? We have another low. This is great because now we've swept that liquidity from over there. You know, the liquidity from over here. We've swept that liquidity, and we've got a clear area for that break-in structure. Now that clear area for the break-in structure, let's see if we can find this. On the 15-minute, it's not entirely clear. On the 15-minute, we don't break structure until we reach 67,267. All right. However, on the 12-minute, we actually do get a zone here. All right. So this becomes our last level on the 12-minute. So if you entered on the 12-minute, that's coming in at 67.0661. But what were we saying? We said on that setup that we're looking for anything on the 5-minute and above. So if we drop down to the 5-minute, our last 5-minute level is the same as our 12-minute level at 67.076. So that means this is our area of interest, and as soon as we break through that structure, as soon as we break through that level, we can look to enter along. So let's see what price does. Our price comes down. All right, and what does price do? Bang! Price breaks through that level. All right. Now, not only does price break through that level on the 5-minute, let's see. Price also breaks through that level on the 10-minute. Price also breaks through that level on the 12-minute. Price also breaks through that level on the 15-minute. All right, on the 30-minute, it changes up here. Okay. Let's see if price breaks on the 30 minutes. Yes, price also breaks that level on the 30 minute. So what must you be thinking as a seasoned trader? You must be thinking, well, we've had a 30-minute break in structure bullishly. We've also had that 30-minute break at a range low where you're looking to long because you're in extreme discount based on the price distribution of Bitcoin in that range. You know, that's very cheap value for Bitcoin. All right. So there's no reason why we shouldn't be looking for a long there. All right. So, but are we just going to enter that long straight away? Are we just going to say, all right, cool, we're going to long it. It's broken structure. Bang. Let's long it right there. Yes, we could. I know students that do that and they make a killing. I know students that do that. All right. But the only disadvantage of doing that is it's not the best risk to reward, in a sense that if you enter this trade, now let's say we are targeting, let's just say we're targeting this range high. Okay, we're targeting this range high at 72,067. Okay, if we enter that trade at that level at the break, we're getting a 3.64 risk to reward. That's a 3.64x. That means for every 10k you risk, you're gonna earn about 36k. All right, for every £10 you risk, you're gonna earn about £36. All right, it's not the worst. But the reason we always wait for that retracement, and I preach wait for that retracement every single day here, is because the retracement gives you the better risk to reward. So you see, as price comes down now a little bit, what can we do? Well, we can oh wow, I'm a popular guy today. All right, so as price comes down, look, as we go, if we look to enter at that retracement, what's that doing to that risk reward? Oh look, from 3.64x, we've immediately gone to 5.17x for that trade. Okay, so what that means is every 10 grand you place on that, you're making about 51 grand instead. Okay, so just a quick 20 grand there you've made, all right, just from practicing good risk management, and more importantly, just from being patient. That's what it was, just from being patient. All right, so yes, you could have entered that trade there, and you could have entered that trade there. If you enter those trades, where would your stop loss have to be? It has to cover that low. Why? Because price can, break structure. It's allowed to come all the way down as low as it wants, as down as it wants. Yeah, all right, break structure again before it continues up. It's allowed to do that. Right, technically it's allowed to do that. That's why we wait and we put a stop loss right underneath that level. Okay, so that's how we enter that trade. I'm not exactly sure where I entered that trade, but it's in Discord, it's in the profit wall. I've closed some of that trade, which is great. And what I've done is, usually I close my trades quite early and I leave it to run for a bit, but for this one I've kind of left it. And the reason I left it is because I realized, look, we've just SFP'd this low. We've just taken out this low. All right, we've taken out this low. We've grabbed the liquidity here. That makes this a weak high. Now, if this is a weak high, we could get that rotation all the way up. All right, so this could be a nice trade that takes us all the way up to the range high. I have taken some profits. I have de-risked that trade, so I'm playing on house money. I do not care what happened to that trade, all right? And, hopefully we rotate all the way to the range high, and if we don't, that's fine. We'll find another trade, all right? And that's how you have to think as a trader. You have to find a strategy, either a profit-taking strategy, either a risk management strategy that suits your personality. Like if you know you're someone that panics a lot when they're inside a trade, well, you need to find something that allows you to take profits early and de-risk your trades early. Okay, if you're a trader that always leaves profit on the table and price turns around and then hits a stop loss, you need to de-risk your trade early and move your stop loss to entry. You need to be journaling what you're like, understanding your personality, and developing a strategy that suits you. See, a lot of traders think, oh, I've just got to go on YouTube, I've just got to read this book, I've got to take this course, and I've got to find the strategy and execute it. Yes, that's half of it, but you also have to study yourself. You also have to understand what your tendencies are, because as much as you need a strategy to execute in the charts, you also need to develop a strategy that you use on yourself as well. Okay, you want to try and be as robotic as possible. You want to try and remove the emotions from it, remove your thinking from it, because as you know, your emotions change as the trade is set. I mean, we see that every day, right? The moment you enter a trade, you might think, okay, yes, you're filled with a lot of euphoria that yes, this might be a winner, and all of a sudden the trade starts to go in minus. You think, oh, panic, should I get out? Your emotions have just changed. And then all of a sudden, all right, it's back in break even. You're like, yes, I was right. Initially, I was right. Yeah. And you're back in red again. Ah, man, what am I doing? Trading's not for me. So you can see that your emotions are constantly changing. So what you need to do as a trader, you need to try and minimize that based on your strategies. Okay. All right. So let's see. Now, as I was in that trade, I was thinking, right, this could potentially just be, of course, all right, because I'm not silly. I'm not just going to think price is going to go bang all the way to the range high. I'm thinking, right, this could be a low, all right, a lower high, a lower low, just to make another lower high to carry on. All right, you have to be thinking like that. And that's why I was thinking, hence why I left that trade and I was already planning a short there and planning a short there. All right. Now, is that to say price was definitely going to do that? No. But am I going to plan and wait for my confirmations? Yes. All right. So what did price do as a result? Well, price came and smashed all the way up, giving us a nice 3-4% move, almost a 5% move, which is pretty good for a Wednesday afternoon. I know lots of this and lots of traders are like, yeah, this is fueled by the news. Yeah, that's great. I don't necessarily watch the news, but the news, I can see the news in the charts, because obviously the news is closely linked to what the buyers and sellers are doing in the market. Okay. All right, so did we smash through this 1 hour zone? Yes, we did. Do we need it anymore? No, we do not. So that's gone. Now, we do have this last old supply range. Why is this old supply range? Because if we look at our price action, it goes down, up, down, okay? Because it's gone down, up, down, that makes this entire region a region of interest, all right? Now, look how quickly we came down and look how quickly we came up. Remember what I always say here, easy up, easy down, easy down, easy up. And what's the reason for that? Fair value gaps, all right? Sorry about that. I've got a session not in about 5 minutes, so I have to wrap this up as quickly as yeah, anyways. So what we have here then is potential areas where we could have got that reaction. We had our old value area low, which we went past. We had our POC, which we went past. Now we also have this 4 hour zone. We have this 4 hour zone, which, we should have got a reaction from, but we look to be going past that as well. So this is telling me that price is retracing quite deep into our old zone, all right? And so what the only level left is, yes, we've got this 10-minute zone here. So we still need to watch that. If we get a flip and a market structure change, I'm going to take that short, because market structure is still low, high, low. And the last exact point to watch out for is this level here, this range, this extreme supply, all right? So this level here, that's what I'm going to be looking out for. So if we do get a change in structure here, yes, I'm going to take that. Why not? I'm going to throw 1% at it, and I'm going to see how that goes, all right? I'm going to take that, and that would be a nice, and that would be a nice trade. That would be a nice trade. We're already looking at 6x, all right? 10K, 60K, why not? All right? Now, what's to say, what are you going to do then if price actually goes above that level? Well, if price goes above that level, what's just happened? Well, we've just broken structure on the 12, on the 4 hour, yes. We've broken structure on the 8 hour, yes. Yes, we've broken structure on the 8 hour at least, which is a very high time frame breaking structure. And so what I'm going to do as a result is I'm going to say, okay, cool. Why don't we wait for that retracement? This being our new zone, okay? Why don't we wait for that retracement for that next long? All right. Now that long could happen anywhere. All right. So your job as a trader now is to find where can that long take place. And in order to do that, we must analyze this leg. All right. So we're going to look at this leg now and quickly see if we can find any potential zones for us to get that reaction from. Okay, I don't have too long today because I do have a session. I have a one-to-one trading session that I have to be on in a few minutes. All right, so here clearly we can see if we do break through that zone, that makes this a valid zone we've got here. So here we've got already, we can see we've got a 1 hour zone here. All right, not bad. So we're going to label that. We're going to put 1 hour. Get ready for that. That's a potential POI for us. And we're going to put our level there. That could be a potential long, of course. Yeah. Now, anything besides that, what else do we have? Well, let's see. If we go on a lower time frame, let's do it 45. Okay, let's look at the 30. Nothing really, same as the 1 hour, really. All right. Okay, do we have something all the way down here? Yes, I'm gonna get rid of this just because we've looked at this. We've looked at the analysis. We don't need this anymore. Okay. No. Oof, let me double check that. That needs to be checked. That needs to be investigated. So that high is coming in at 621, and that low is coming in at 630. So 621, 630. Yes, that is a zone. That is a zone. But let me just check so I can see it with my eyes. Yeah, that's a zone. That's a zone. However, what am I going to say about that zone? That's a very extreme zone. I mean, if we retraced all the way down there, then man, be careful. Be careful long in that one. But I'm going to just put it there anyway because it is a zone. That's a 30-minute zone. What we call that is an extreme zone. All right. So we have a zone there. We have a zone there. Those are my next two areas to look for that trade. I'm just going to put that there, even though, I'll be careful with that one, right? Because if price was to, break structure and then rotate all the way back down here, that's worrying because that's past. Let's take this as our fib low and take this as our fib high. Oh wow, third call in the last 10 minutes. That means, we've passed the 50% mark, we've passed the 618 mark, and we're almost going to the 90% retracement mark, all right? Which is not the most bullish sign. So this is where I'm looking out for my next trades. I'm looking out for my next trades at, that 1 hour zone. And we can't really check that yet, but I would have checked whether that was confluent with a fib zone, all right? And maybe that's your homework. That's something you could do later, all right? Once price sets a very distinct high. So as far as my local trades here, I'm looking for my shorts there, looking for my two longs there, and for that continuation. I'm still in that long. I'm going to leave that. I'm going to let that ride. I'm going to see how far price goes. I'm already in profit there, so we're good. All right. And that's fine. Now, in the case that, price decides, I'm not going to break this structure immediately. I'm not going to break this zone immediately. If price says, I'm going to distribute here for a bit, that's fine. I'm going to wait. If it forms a range, great. And I'm going to wait for that second entry. If we get a second entry play to come down, that's completely fine by me. Remember, easy down, easy up. So what have we got now? We've got an easy up, so potentially another easy down. Okay, so keep an eye on that, definitely. All right, so we're looking for that zone. And as far as Bitcoin goes, that's kind of what I'm looking out for at the moment. I can't see anything else that stands out to me. Of course, if we rally higher and we break out of this range, we can look for a short there at that range level. So I guess that's another level we have to look out for. All right. And we can look to see what happens at that zone. And if we break through that zone, then, at that point, I will be doing another video to give you an update as to what to do next. Okay, so those are my levels. Now you're thinking, TJ, yes, these levels are great, but what am I going to do at each and every one of these levels? Well, this is exactly what you're going to do. Well, if you've got your supply zone, perhaps, and you've got your potential POI, all right, you set that up. And as price comes towards your level, what are you looking out for? Well, you're looking out for a clear change in market structure. So if price is coming up nicely, printing higher highs and higher lows, and then it hits your supply, then changes structure straight after, this is great because now it shows our supply could be working. Why? Because our supply has led to that breaking structure. I'm going to look for that retracement for better risk to reward, right? Remember? And then I'm going to enter that trade. Okay. If you wanted to be more cautious, you can also do the same thing on this leg to see if you get that reconfirmation, because on this leg on a lower time frame, price will also be doing the same thing. Look for the break at the break, and then you can enter there. So you may enter lower, but reconfirmation is better than no confirmation. So that's your entry model. And guess what? As price is doing that, market cipher will also be giving you a nice divergence. Market cipher, one of the best indicators in the world. So if you do want to know how to get your hands on market cipher, hit me up. I can definitely point you in the right direction. Anyways, hope you found that useful. Hope you have a lovely evening, and I will see you tomorrow.